Hello everyone, my name is Roberts. I live and travel in my van. I wanted to talk to you guys today about the cost of van life and how to budget, maybe some areas where you could save. So we're just gonna jump right into it. I appreciate everybody checking the channel out. To be honest, it's pretty expensive, depending on if you're going to, how you're going to live your van life, what kind of adventures you want to go on, where do you want to go. All those things play a role in the cost of van life. We're going to break it down into some specific points: gas, food, propane, vehicle maintenance, camping and parking, water, just these basic things that you need in the van that costs regularly that you have to keep up with. Gas is going to be the number one expense. Everyone knows that. What I could recommend through my experience in van life so far for this 4 or 5 months I've been on the road now, is to plan. The more you plan, the more you're going to save. And if you're traveling a full tank, let's say this vehicle, it's a Ram ProMaster high roof, 2500 diesel. So it gets pretty good gas mileage on the highway. I can fill up and run about 500-ish, give or take, depending on if I'm going over ranges or whatnot, as far as the cost, or excuse me, the mileage. So let's say the trip we're taking was 700 miles. One of my next adventures I plan on going to is Utah. So my plan is to slow it down, that whole 700 miles. I just don't want to spend a tank and a half, almost, $150 or so just to go to Utah. What I want to do is look up researches on the way, like maybe Boise or whichever where you're coming from, Nevada. There's things to do in that 700 miles of gas that we have to go. When I mean me and you, when I say we, to get somewhere. Otherwise, you're gonna rack up a bill. Because let's say we go to Utah and you spent a week there, exploring all the things they have there to offer out in the desert, and you have a great time, or 2 weeks even. You're gonna have to come back into town somewhere. You're gonna have to get water. You're gonna have to get propane. If you don't have a shower on your vehicle, you're gonna have to go pay for a shower, okay, or find a Planet Fitness. And by all means, I'm not trying to make this lifestyle sound expensive and it's unaffordable and you can't do it. There's lots of ways. Like, it would only cost $150 to get from where I'm at to Utah, and explore around there for a week or two. So that's very cost efficient, considering if compared to if you were going to get a plane and a rental car, and you're going to do all these things, in comparison to the cost of van life and room and board, you're saving tremendously. But gas will be your number one expense. Okay, so best advice I can give is try to plan and use that whole tank of gas. Make it last, a week at least. The travel there, stopping and exploring. Then when you get to Utah, you have another week. So after that tank of gas, you spent 2 weeks, and you fill up again and try to do that same thing. Now your cost of gas that month is, $300 versus, it can get outrageous. So you have to slow your travels down. That's the best budgeting advice I could give for saving gas. And also, I would like to just say, when I first started this, I was uncomfortable. I just couldn't park. I couldn't sit still. I would, go adventure and visit someplace, and then it was over. So keep that in mind. You got to kind of maybe check it out with a friend, or make sure you have the budget to you can move, because you're gonna probably be uncomfortable coming from an apartment, a home, into van life and getting on the highway. You'll spend a lot of money trying to be comfortable, like campsites, and you'll pay for parking. So that's another one that we're gonna hit. But I'm hoping this information is useful. I thought I would just share, because I have been on the road now since about October, and I'm learning cost efficient ways to travel and camp and even eat to save money, instead of eating out. So which brings us to the next one, food. I'm really not going to go into that much. It's up to you what you eat, how you eat, and what's in your budget. But I will say that when you're out on the road, naturally, if you put some food in the fridge, it's very easy to save. And you can go with rice and beans and things that you're not going to have to draw a lot of electricity to keep in the van. On those days, those nights where you want to save and you don't have a town or somewhere, grocery store, you always have those non-perishables in your van to help you out, to save some money also. So propane. Now, a lot of people might not have a propane set up in their car, or in their van. If you're gonna run a hot water heater, you're probably gonna have propane. You're gonna have to budget that in there. Me, myself, I spend about maybe $30-ish on propane a month. So that's pretty good. I use propane just for cooking, that's it. I have a little propane burner that I use, and makes my coffee, makes my hot food. And I spend about $30 a month. So it's gonna vary if you have a propane tank on board for hot water heater, and you're using one for heat or whatever. So just keep that in mind. That's an expense constantly that you have to stop and get propane. You have to fill up water. You have to pay for water. You have to, you can have 5, 10 gallons, 20 gallons on board. It's gonna last however long you use it, but that's another expense when you're out on the road. I enjoy constantly having something to do, like fill up, dump, do things, that are active in van life, because it keeps me grounded, makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. This is the life. Going to the laundromat, there's another expense when you're on the road. Stopping at the laundromat, maybe $20, detergent, softeners. So these things, they will add up on you once you load up your rig and you get on the road and you have that first destination. The best thing you can do is find 2 other things on the way to that destination to slow you down and let you kind of get in the groove slow. I think that's helpful advice. Vehicle maintenance. If you're interested in a high roof or ProMaster, this vehicle is a 2014 Ram ProMaster high roof 2500 Eco Diesel. They call it the longer wheelbase. But maintenance on it for a regular oil change. For this one, the 3.0 liter has 9.5 quarts of oil. So when you go to any place to have them do it, you get charged additionally a markup on those 9.5 quarts. And it can go anywhere from $150 up to close to $200 an oil change. So keep that in mind if you're interested, like in a 3.0 diesel, or you got it. It's a little more money when it's time to get that maintenance, especially when you're on the road. You need an oil change, unless you have the tools and the know-how, to get under there and do it. I recommend that, because you're gonna spend, and especially if you're traveling a lot, you're putting a lot of miles, a lot of distance. Before you know it, in a month you need an oil change. So that's an additional cost. If you slow down all your travel, you're gonna save all these things that are going to hit you because you're putting too many miles on the van too fast. Like, you have to literally just slow down. And then those maintenance things that won't come every month. You know, since I've been on the road now, I've had 3, and since October, so October, November, December, January, February, 6 months almost, I've been on the road now. And I've 3 oil changes at about $180 average. So keep that in mind. That's something you have to budget. Camping and parking. If you're going to be out there traveling, you're going to want to van life every once in a while. It's nice to pull into a camp spot, hook up, electricity, just get everything. You can live like you're in an apartment when you're in a RV hookup, a campsite. They have showers. If you want to put 2 of those into your travel a month-ish, that's $70 or $100 that month, to stop at those really nice ones. And depending on how long you plan on staying, also, you have to put that into your traveling. And then also parking. If you're in the city, you want to get a bite to eat, parking. If you want to pay, even day camping, sometimes the state parks, you have to pay for a day camp. $7 is somewhere around there for a day camp use, where you can just pull up and you stay there all day, use their amenities, or you can pay the $35, $45 up for the whole hookup. So just some food for thought here. I hope this information is useful. My experiences have been tremendously, just overwhelmingly just joyful, and just, it puts me in a whole different just vibration, energy. And I can't wait to just out back on the road right now. If anyone hasn't watched any of their other previous videos, I've made a little pit stop here in Oregon to find work, so I can stay on the road longer. And I've in my 6 months now, I've want to share some of the do's and don't do's, and I'm hoping this video has helped someone. Just take some time to think about your travel, where you're going, what can you do in between, and that's just, it's just gonna save you. And I'm speaking of sightseeing, hiking, free campsites. Maybe slow your travel down and just stay at the campsite. If you just have to slow down. My experiences have been great. This life is great. If you're thinking about it, I highly recommend it. However, you have to budget it depending on your travels, $600. You have to stay in that range. Otherwise, you're going to realize that it will drain you. I don't know how, some people, this might not apply. They've set themselves up well and they plan on getting on the road full time. Maybe they even work remote on the road. So a lot of this doesn't apply to that type of van lifer that's fortunate enough to have remote work and be on the road full time. And some of their expenses are different. This is a budget friendly video on just how to save, cut corners on your expenses. If you're gonna have a shower in your rig, okay, this is things that I mean. That means you're gonna have propane, and you're gonna have a little hot water heater tank that's gonna use more water. So you're constantly gonna be filling up with more water and filling up with more propane, which is more money each month. So just keep that in mind. Or you could, me personally, I don't have a van, I don't have a shower in the van. If you're interested, you can go check out the budget build on my channel. Kind of gives you a tour of the van. But I personally recommend that you get a membership at a gym. 24-hour fitness, Planet Fitness is really popular in the van life community, I believe. So that way you're able just to shower. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wash up in the van. Outdoor shower can save you some money. Um, um, Showers are about 18 bucks when you're on the road, like at a truck stop, or you go to the campgrounds for $35, $45 a night, and you have a shower. If you don't have one in your van. Planet Fitness is great because you can go wherever you're at, any town you're at. Most of them, some of them are 24 hours, and they're pretty clean. I've had no issues with them. Sometimes the water can be lukewarm depending on when you go. That's the only issue I've had. I go there and shower and use the gym. Yeah, so think about that. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. Please, everyone, comment on this video if it was useful, if it was helpful. It would really mean a lot. Thank everyone who supported me this far. 6 months into van life already. I cannot believe it. It just went like, pew, it just shot by. We're going to be working on a year. Hopefully we can get monetized, back on the road with a little bit of remote income, I guess. So that's the plan. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.